Okay, rise of Muslim civilization. As you know, we discussed it earlier that from 8th century to 13th century, that is a rising period of Islamic civilization. So we will discuss about the causes of rise of Muslim civilization. First cause is the spiritual power. As you know, that was the uh, basic thing, basic cause of foundation of Islamic civilization, and that was the cause of rise of Muslim civilization. So spiritual power is a tremendous impulse was given to the Muslim community to explore life and the world around them, life and world created for a purpose. The Muslims spread the word of Allah, that is Islam, were to save people and liberate them. And second is the ability to transform the ideas of the Quran to daily conduct. That is hard work, perseverance, sincerity, honesty, and patience. And intellectual freedom. Freeing human intellect from superstition, teaching people to think critically and creatively, prohibition of imitation without sound evidence. And fourth one is the political freedom, equality between the ruler and the ruled. Allah has sent us to free humans from worshipping other humans and to commit them to worshipping Allah. That is a famous quote of a companion of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And that was the fifth reason is the openness to learn from human experience. Muslim doesn't hesitate to take the experience of other nations. So two people are of different races and ethnicities. Muslim civilization was a joint endeavor of Muslims from different peoples and races. It was not the military power which enabled early Muslims to dominate half of the then known world. It was their righteousness and their humanness. The Muslim intermarried freely with the local people and became part of them, but not became the part of them, but converted them, and they become the part of Muslim society. In the spirit of seeking knowledge, most of the rulers of Banu Umayyah and the first 2 centuries of Al-Abbasiyya dynasties were educated of scholars. Mostly the rulers were scholars. They encouraged learning and scientific inquiry and used to spend on it generously. The House of Wisdom, as I told you, that on the translation of every book, they give the gold in compensation. The establishment of hundreds of schools and universities such as Nizamiya, Al-Azhar, Al-Qayrawan, etc. In addition to the generous spending on education and scholars, work endowment fund, etc., was well developed and played a significant role in developing educational institutions. At that time, education was not a corporate sector; that was a although there was a relevant level of dictatorship, rulers didn't use to interfere in education institutions and the affairs of scholars. And decline, as we discussed, that in many times there came a decline on Islamic civilization. First decline was at the time of Umayyah, that was a political decline, but because that was a political decline, and at that time Muslim was strong religiously and ideologically, so that decline ended after a short period. Then the second decline was ideological decline in the time of Mamun al-Rashid when the Mu'tazila came. So, but at that time Muslims were politically strong, so they don't affect much on Muslims because they have one-sided decline. And after that, in 1258, when Mongols attack on Muslims, that was a decline politically. And because at that time they destroyed many intellectual things of Muslim society, so that have many effects on Islamic civilization. So we will discuss the causes of decline. After that, there is also a rise again and then decline in 16th century by Westerns, and that is double-sided. ideological and political as well. But now we are discussing about the Islamic decline of Islamic civilization, the end of Golden Age in 13th century, when the Mongols attacked. So, what was the causes of decline? First one is the tribalism, and then ethnocentrism, and as the Prophet ﷺ was able to suppress the social disease and reduce them to the minimal level among the Sahaba and the companions, and substitute them with a strong brotherhood. The new comers to Islam, who used to live under the rule of tribes or monarchs and emperors, brought with them those loyalties. So it created again tribalism and ethnicism in the Muslim society. And sectarianism was another reason of decline, and obsession with power, prestige, and striving for power, assassinations, overthrowing each other, civil war, separation, seeking help from enemies. These are the causes of decline. So revolutionaries, insurgencies here and there, and then moral decadence, dishonesty, indifference, cheating, laziness, neglecting obligation, involvement in haram, interest in pleasure and enjoyment rather than more serious things, and dictatorship, political injustice, changing the political system from shura to monarchy. Another reason is the weakness of central authority. From most of the last 3 centuries of the Abbasid rule, the ruler's caliphate became nominal. They were the shadow caliphs. The real sovereign powers had passed already to the Turks generals. The rulers became under their direct influence, and they were frequently changed or murdered one after another. And deterioration in the educational level of the rulers, the guardians soon became the masters. They were men of simple, downright brutal character and of energy and common sense. The Ottoman Turks, Mamalik, were soldiers first. They were soldiery in all they did. They did infuse some manhood into the declining empire, which would have perished but for them. They managed to free some Muslim territories, stop the advancement of Mongols, and expand the Muslim armies. But those rulers were not really qualified to maintain the Muslim civilization, because they were soldiers, not the intellectuals.